Are you stuck in the muddle? When you're writing a big story, so maybe you have a big idea of the story you want to write, and you find it's almost like it's like a mushroom that releases spores to more stories, right? And then more ideas come, and you want to include all the ideas in this one story. So the material becomes unwieldy. Like, how am I going to include it all? How can I weave it in? But I don't want to let it go. And so these stories can kind of grow and become like the Hydra, right? We take off one head and three more come in. And how am I going to, how am I going to contain this story? Because stories need a container. And I want to tell you a story about one of my students. This woman I work with, had been working with for a while now. When she came to me, she has a big story. She's a physician. She's been working in like pretty hands-on, helping in the opioid crisis. She's been watching people die of this very serious crisis, and she wants people, government doesn't seem to be responding, and so she wanted to write a book so that people can witness and respond. And so when she started, she had lots of ideas that she wanted to include in this big story, and she wanted to write it in a long form. But what happened was these like knots that would build in the narrative, and she couldn't get through them. And so what we did was we pulled them into smaller chunks. I was like, well, what if you wrote this story here as its own individual thing? Then it's clear to find an arc. And then you could write this story here, and there's another arc, and so on. And then the thread of the theme of the opioid crisis is running through the whole memoir. And she has done this, and it has made a huge difference in how she approaches her writing. And it also got her a contract with a major publisher. So if you have a big unwieldy story, you feel really stuck and you can't kind of find the threads, or they keep growing, consider finding smaller chunks to write a cohesive collection of stories that will help you get through that muddle.